So let's have a chat with this guy real quick and see if that works.
Hey man,
Hey, how you doing, man?
pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. You got a few minutes, right?
Yeah, I'm all yours.
Uh, One, this dude still hasn't paid me. He called me, gave me his email, and I sent it to the exact same email I sent it to in the first place, and sent it to him again to that same email. So it's not a huge deal, but hopefully, I mean, it's kind of concerning at the beginning. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into a problem, especially if I submit milestones and then one dude pays me and then like the other dude doesn't pay me, and especially if I'm gonna split the bill between two people, it's kind of a weird scenario. So there's that going on. But anyways, outside that, kind of just moving forward on it, everything. So the whole ideal is to make this like a generic application that at the end of basically the MVP that's outlined in this document can kind of be white labeled for each of these two dudes, Andy, and then man, honestly, I help me say his name, Smidgen, right?
It's Shimeon.
Shimeon. All right, so between him and Shimeon. So I'm still a little bit confused though, honestly, with Stridex. So looking at everything, looking at their API, and that's kind of what I was hoping maybe you could help me with. Is I'm not sure if we actually even need a backend application whatsoever in this Stridex. You guys, because like this user sign up, right? When a user signs up, they're essentially signing up and then becoming a user into your guys' Stridex account.
Right.
So they need to actually, yeah, right now through Stridex, you guys create new users, and then those users can access that other account that basically you gave me, right? You gave me that login to the other account, and that was literally an account that is from one of the users that you guys have created from your actual Stridex account, right?
Yeah, the way it's set up is we have like an admin account and then we have sub accounts. So I think I sent you a testing sub account.
Right. So from my perspective, then I don't think we actually need a back end application, because when a user registers, he's literally registering through an API in Stridex. So Stridex is going to keep that data. When a user logs in, it's the same thing. He's actually logging in, authenticating into Stridex through your guys' gateway, through your guys' account.
Right. So the only concern that we have is we don't want it to look like their login. If
Right.
it if it had
Right.
a
It's
strategy.
it's not going to look at their it's not going to look like their login whatsoever, because it's not going to be their login. It's going to be basically, I mean, it is going to be our login, but it's going to be our form. Um, it's going to be our form
Right. But
that
when you actually build the platform, like once they log in, the view that they see, we can't have it look anything like
right.
Stratix.
Right. It's obviously not going to look like Stridex whatsoever at all, but that usually essentially is authenticated into Stridex. So I think maybe we talked about this initially, that the whole reason for the backend application was to encapsulate the client side URL calls to mask the URLs. So even like debugging the application, you couldn't actually see that you're just hitting a Stridex URL.
Right.
Do you feel that's actually ultimately necessary?
I mean, a lot of these guys in marketing are pretty savvy.
So, so with that, and so basically with that, my take is going to be in the backend application. The only thing that we're going to have in the backend application are just going to be routes that are pretty much masking the Stridex routes, and we're not going to have any actual database really whatsoever, because we don't need to have a database, because everything's going to be managed through the Stridex application. That sounds correct, right?
Um, for the most part, the only thing that's going to be different is the credits section, because basically the way it works now is we load all of the money into our Stratix platform, but they don't have a way to count the credits per sub account.
Right. So it's just like Twilio. It's just like Twilio. They fund based on the master account. So basically, the only thing that we're going to store in our application in our DB is where basically before you're going to hit our route to start your blast and send out messages and run your campaign, and then we're basically just going to sit in the middle from that and look in our DB and look you up and see if you actually have enough credits to do that, and then we'll deduct your credits from there and just basically be able to set limits for users based on the credits that are there. That all it really does is prevent them from hitting those routes at the Stridex to actually send out the blast.
Right, exactly.
So we're just gonna have like an ID that's going to relate to we're gonna have an ID that's going to relate to the object in Stridex, the user object that we create that's encapsulated, and we're just gonna, with that ID, we're gonna be able to add more credits to it, and those credits are going to deplete as we send out text messages.
Right. And when we get to that part, I could walk you through exactly how we need it set up, because it's not going to be tricky. It's just we have to make sure that it's depleting the credits at the ratio that it's depleting.
Right. We talked about that. It actually needs to deplete the credits at a proportion that is proportional to the actual leads that they inputted versus the leads that they sent out. So, well, the leads that actually go out. Like, for example, if they give us 100,000 leads and only 50,000 of them are well formatted that we can actually deliver and send out, let's say it costs 1 credit per text message. So every one message that we send out, we need to actually deduct 2 credits from them, because that's the ratio, because we sent 1 actually out, and for every 1 that we sent out, there's 1 that we can't actually send out, so we account for that as well. That's the right logic there, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You hit it right on the head.
So yeah, the only thing I was really confused about and I wanted to clarify was just actually the users themselves, and verify if those users actually need to be created with Stridex and be part of Stridex and authenticate into there, or if those are just arbitrary users that only exist in our system.
We're going to add them through Stridex. So we could use the API straight directly into Stridex and use Stridex as the real backend. But this system will just act as a way in between, so that the users don't see exactly what's happening.
Right, and also these users now. Then there's my other question. When these guys register, we're going to temporarily basically hold all their data until an admin goes in and approves them. Right. Once an admin goes in and approves them, then we'll actually send that data to Stridex to make them an actual legitimate user. Is that how the flow is going to be?
That's how we originally wanted it. If you look at the sheet under once signed up, I said that we should have like a thank you note, but they think it's a better idea just to auto approve them.
Okay, so
we can make the application an actual add user form.
Okay. So you're going to have, the way I see it, you're going to have a way that you're not going to have any type of home page at all other than a way for the user to log in or register, and then you guys wanted like a contact us place, a way for them to contact you if they can't do either of the above. But if somebody comes in and registers, literally what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and call that API from Stridex and create a new user without any type of approval. And then you guys from an admin section would be able to go in and also add a new user that would do literally the same thing. It would create a new user in Stridex and generate their logins.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. And
does Stridex send out any type of email to users whenever you create new users?
They do not.
Okay.
I don't think so, at least. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
So do we need to do that?
Let me test real quick. Let me add a user, and I'll use my email. Looks like I already have an account. Let me check my mail and see if I have anything. Okay, so they do send an email, and it says a new Stratix account has been created. So I don't know if we could directly input it straight into Stratix unless we get them to take that off. Are you there, John?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. I just somehow I hit the mute on accident or something.
No.
So yeah, I was looking at that on their APIs, and I think that uh, I saw a way where we can
Give
give.
me 1 second, John.
I think there's a way where we can actually create. Where's that create user?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. So, I'm not sure if I'll find out. I'll find out by looking at their API to see if they give uh to see if they give an option not to send that, or if they send that.
Yeah, I mean, we could always get on the phone with them and get them to not send it. Because they built the API just for us, so they're trying to make it work with us because they know that we're a big client.
Right.
So I'm sure they're willing to make that change.
Well, it looks like there's a difference between whenever you are creating these users, are you guys actually creating accounts, or are you creating users? Because there appears to be a distinct difference between an account and a user.
Yeah, you're right. I'm guessing we would make them an account. The way that here, you want a screen share so you can see what I'm looking at?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Wrong screen. Okay, so if we go in the admin under accounts, Strike Leads is the main account, but these are all of our clients. So let me see how it's set up. Um, these are the users
Yeah.
here, so I'm guessing.
Okay, so what's going on? All right, let's see. Go back to the account. Those
Let me go back.
Those are all okay. Those are all your accounts, and then you have individual accounts for each of your actual clients. And then you have, when you go to just let's say that account right there that you got selected. Is that how you got the users from that particular account?
Wait, sorry, what was that?
Yeah, just go to that account. Just select that account right there, the one that you have selected. Well, that's your main one, right? Is that what
Yeah.
all the accounts look like in there?
No, everything's locked on this one, but most of the other accounts aren't locked. I'll show you.
And there's
That's an
nothing.
account ID though.
There's nothing here that's. Uh, there's nothing here that's associating. There's nothing here that's associating a user with that actual account. Let's see your users again.
I don't see the IDs on. So you see how it says parent
Right.
account?
That's your account ID.
Is it?
Yeah.
1491. Yeah. That's this one. Well, what are the other ones? 1148025.
So I don't think I don't think we need to. We're gonna need to create. It looks like so. These are the actual accounts, and these guys have. Is this one your main account? No, because see, for this you give the account name, but you give the notification email as yourself, right? Info@Strike Leads.
Yeah, that could definitely work.
Well, that's what you've done here. Let's see the other one. Let's just look at another one. Let's see if you did the same on the other ones. Yeah, you did the same there. Info@Strike. You gave the same notification email because that's what they have. Okay, yeah, that's all. So whenever you create an account, the notification email. So and this is how you send out the text messages as you attach them to one of these accounts.
Yeah, each client that buys text messaging has an account.
And you just do that so that you can segregate so that you can segregate the financials. I mean, everything gets funded from your main account, but if you go to one individual account, you can actually look and see how much traffic it's done and how much it's.
Yeah, like here, if we go to like Holman, if we go to accounting, we load money. I did. Yeah. If you look in the main account, well here, let me actually get to the main account to show you first. So we add like 10,000 at a time, and then it just bills us by the day. So we get pulled from our main account for each sub account, added up for the whole day. But if we go into a sub account, all of the times that you see like credit, like where this 13,000 is added and the 2,000 and 1,087 here,
Right.
that's us actually just hitting add credit here so that we could see a running count of how much money they've spent.
So that's an arbitrage, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean
You're not actually adding credit or adding actual money there, right?
No, there's no actual money being handled there. It's just for our own accounting purposes.
Okay.
Because they hadn't built out anything that was able to take out how much was spent based on how much they were getting charged.
So for us, we don't even have to worry about that. For us, these guys aren't going to. I mean, so basically, you're gonna do the same thing through the app, though. Is you're gonna do that same arbitrage to any account and be able to add credit. It's only the admin that can add credit, right?
Right. So the actual like when they log in, the number that they see, it's going to have nothing to do with what they paid us. it's whatever number we type in there. And then we want it to deplete as the campaign sets.
Okay. So for the people who come in and log in and do this, these are literally going to be the accounts, right? They would be relative to the accounts that you guys have set up right now.
Right. So we would want each one of these people to have the ability to log in on their own.
Right, and you can do that right now with your users, right? With your users, you can go to those users and attach those users to an account, and when that user logs in, they can go in and see a view kind of like the login that you gave me.
Right.
Okay. Because you can log into that. You can log into that account because that's what you gave me. You gave me that Upwork test. You gave me from that users. You gave me that user, and then yeah, you have that. You have him assigned to that account over there. So whenever I log in, I can see information about that account.
Is that shedding some light?
Right. So what I need to do is your user. So basically, your user is going to be the dude that owns the account, right? There's only going to be one user per account. Is that a true statement?
Yes, we might have like two people managing that one account, so we might have like two users, but they would be from the same company. You know what I mean?
Okay. So when a user registers, okay. So there's my question. When a user registers, what are they registering for? Are they when they register? Are they um, do they need to have a new account created, or do they need to be a new user in the system?
They would
It's
need to be a new user in the system, but then we would have to make it create a account as well, because we'd be linking their user to a new account, and
right,
then we'd be tracking the expenses on the back end through their account, but they would see it from their login.
right. So and we could just assume for right now that uh, if multiple people were accessing the account, they would just access it from the same login.
Um, yeah, we could keep it simple so that if there's multiple people that need to sign in, we could have it so that we only need one user, and they'll just have to share the username and password.
Right. That way, because the user's not going to be able to register to be able to get a login to an account that exists already. If we have a logic that whenever you actually register, we create a user for you, then we create an account for you, and then we associate that user that we created with that account that we just created all in the back end through Stridix without you knowing it. So
Right. Yeah, that's what we need done. So
I mean,
it's probably
in
best
the
if,
future, we can obviously go in now once that account's created for that first user. We can go in and give that user the ability, if he needs to make another arbitrage user that can go in and have the same access to the account. I mean, we can do that later in the future if it's needed.
right. I don't even see it being like an issue. Most of the time, it's just one person handling all the marketing.
Okay, I think this definitely gives me enough to get started and break ground on what I need to get started with everything. And then we may probably definitely want to come in and revisit a couple things, probably sometime in the middle of next week.
Yeah, sure. I'm available normally all day, except for like the 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock time frame,
Okay. I mean,
because that's when I'm loading all of these lists and getting everyone set up for their call center.
I'll be reporting daily. I send daily updates anyways at the end of my day to let you guys know what's going on. Uh, I was gonna just go ahead and I'll set up the dev server and everything on my own, and then once you guys are ready to deploy, then you'll just need to let me know so I can migrate everything over to your guys' hosting. I'm just going to go ahead and set everything up on AWS for now.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to set you up like a Trello board with each one of the things that we listed to make it easy for you to track?
Yeah, if you set me up a Trello board, then that's awesome. I use Teamwork to manage everything. So if you set me up a Trello board, then I can make a real easy integration to grab that stuff and pipe it right into Teamwork. So yeah, that's no problem at all.
Cool, awesome, man.
And then the only other thing, just ask that guy to pay me, man.
Yeah, let me walk over there right now and see what's up.
All right, I'll talk to you later, man.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks, man.
Yep. That's it. That's the end of the chat with Gary. That's all it takes to be an affiliate. Now, from that chat right there, we just scheduled at least 40 hours of work at $50 an hour. So that's $2,000 from that 30-minute conversation. And I'm going to pay $25 an hour. So I'm going to end up making $1,000 for less than 30 minutes. Teach you guys how to do it too if you want.